thank you all for coming tonight. This is our first State of the School that we've done, and we're really happy for this turnout, and hopefully we can keep this going. A little bit, you're going to hear tonight about the past, present, and future about Cascia Hall. And thinking about the past at Cascia, I actually, a lot of you were probably at the homecoming a few weeks ago. You all may not know this, but Richard Nichols, who I don't think he's here tonight, him and a couple of buddies, maybe a few of you here, actually started the homecoming event a couple decades ago. They just went out there with a grill and started cooking burgers and building community, and it built into this really awesome marquee event at Cascia Hall that we now think of as one of the favorite, homecomings in Tulsa. So, it's stories like that, and some of you may know Rexy Walker. He was an alumnus a handful of years ago that, as legend has it, he would just knock on the Cascia Hall Monastery and say, "How much is tuition?" And a priest would say, at the time it was probably, 5 or 10 grand, something expensive at the time. It's still a lot of money, but he would just turn around and write a check so that a needy Cascia Hall student could attend, and right there on the spot. And it's stories like that that exemplify the generosity and the legacy that we at Cascia have had over the past 100 years that are hoping to continue over the next. And we, as the Alumni Association, all of you are a part of that. It's our job to support the current students, faculty, and staff that are here, and based on whatever season that the school is going through. And right now, that looks like the capital campaign. So tonight, you're going to hear not only about the capital campaign from John Hastings, but you're also going to hear an overview about the school from Father Philip. You're going to hear from Principal Sean Gamble about what's going on in the high school, both academically and athletically. We have some really awesome happenings going on. We also have Dave Ryder here with the athletic director to answer any questions, and Catherine Sims, who's head of academics here as well, to talk to you, and then obviously the principal of the middle school, Todd Goldsmith. So a lot of faces here tonight, answer any questions and talk through all the exciting things that are happening. And you all as alumni, we'd love to, get more involved and keep momentum going like this. So you see some placards here in the back with some events that we have coming up. We'd love for you all to come. Specifically, pay attention to the date for the barbecue. If any of you came to the one we had about a year and a half ago, we're excited to continue that momentum and have a great event here in December with the tree lot. So with that being said, I'm going to hand it over to Father Philip and let him come up here and give some opening remarks.
Good evening. Glad y'all took time out of your day to come and be with us this evening and kind of get an update on where things are in the school. I was given my agenda, but please feel free to interrupt with questions, or if you have other areas of interest that you would like to hear from me. As you know, we're doing construction. And I'm sure you have seen some of what the plan is, and what we're hoping that this project will do for our school and for our students. But I just want to pick out two bits of it that are most appealing to me. Hopefully, in the spring, and certainly by early summer, this whole place will be quite different. We're building a new kitchen, and it'll be situated right off to the side here. And the current kitchen will become an extension of our dining area. I believe that all of this was constructed in the early 70s, so it needs remodeling. But adjoined to this and out this way, these bathrooms will be removed and down into the gym lobby, and the new construction extending in an L shape around an interior courtyard right outside these windows will be the new facility. And the piece of that new facility that appeals most to me are student commons. It's a place, or several places in the building, where students can gather more informally, just to hang out, to work independently, or to work in small groups on assignments or projects that relate to the various classes in their schedule. Included in that are two, we're calling them think tanks right now. They're kind of state-of-the-art learning centers, but small, for groups of 5, 8 students who will be able to get together and work on stuff with access to all the technology that they need and that they're starting to use. And they're designed well in the sense that they're kind of glass, so we can still supervise without having to be present. Our students today, probably different than in some of your classes from the stories I hear from alumni. Our students are highly, highly motivated, and they work hard. We're lucky in our community here, unlike many schools. They don't need that kind of supervision to keep them in line all the time. So, and of course, the reason for this is that students today are very different than even 15 years ago. They learn differently. Their needs are very different. It's a different generation. And in some ways, I feel there's a real gap between my generation and theirs in terms of their development, social development, intellectual development. It's just different. And a lot of that has to do with technology that did not exist when I was in school. They learn very, very differently. And in some ways, young people today, this is how they learn relationships. It's through a screen. And there are serious deficits with that. The amount of time that they spend on a screen each day is shocking sometimes for someone of my generation. And that's increasing. Studies have shown that they spend more time on a screen per year than they do in a classroom in a year. So the effect of this on their growth and their development is huge. It's huge. So they just relate differently. They learn differently. It's just the facts of where we are today. The student commons here then becomes critical because it provides them an opportunity in a safe environment where they can interact with other people. It sounds so simple and so basic. We took it for granted growing up, but it's necessary to be much more intentional today so that they learn how to communicate with one another, so they learn how to deal with differences face to face, conflict resolution, all of these kind of basic skills that we learned just normally that are becoming a little bit more problematic because of the prevalence of technology in their lives. So the time and the space in a safe environment with students who are motivated and good like our students are is it's critical now for them. So that piece of the project is most appealing to me. Besides the fact that they learn differently, right? They learn in groups. They learn from each other much more effectively than in kind of a lecture type environment that many of us grew up with, including myself, right? It's just different. It's different. So that I think is one of the most important things about making sure that Cascia Hall not only remains relevant and effective today, but an excellent place for their growth, their development, their learning, their maturation for the next 15, 20 years. So it's very, very exciting. And you know, the labs are very different. It's just all very different, and very exciting overall. Another thing that I was trying to think of things that our alumni might be most interested in. So if this is not something that you're interested in, just signal and I'll move on to something else. But in terms of what the school is trying to offer now, it's different, again, than it may have been even 15 years ago. Our HR person, we have an HR person now, full-time. First time in our history, right? Schools, it's complicated now. All of the, all that stuff is not what we're trained in as educators. So we have to expand what we're doing by hiring a full-time HR person. And the guy that we have is excellent. But he recently did a kind of a survey of our faculty and staff and found that, and this shocked me, found that 48% of our current faculty and staff have been here for less than 5 years. That's a surprise. We have traditionally been able to retain faculty and staff for very long periods of time. And I'm sure we could surface the names of towering figures who were here and had been here for generations of students. I think of Father Spielman, Terry Hogan, right? There's lots of them who have been here for a long time. I'm one of the older ones on the faculty and staff for having been here as long as I have. This year I had the first in May of this year, first time where one of our graduates I had taught and their parent I had taught here. That was a little jarring, a little shocking. And on the one hand, that's a wonderful thing about our community here at Cascia Hall, that we build these relationships, we have these ties with one another that span years. On the other hand, we're losing teachers in Oklahoma. People are not going into the profession. We pay them crap in this state, and so they're going to Texas, right? And that's increasingly a challenge for us. Again, one of the selling points, though, we have wonderful families, we have wonderful students, and a beautiful campus, a great city. So we have a lot of things that are work in our favor. But that's going to be more and more of an issue as we move forward, is attracting and retaining excellent teachers as we continue to grow. So we hired a full-time HR person. We have a full-time inclusion and belonging person now. And their job is to make sure that every student in our community is accepted, appreciated, and celebrated. Again, you would think that that would just be part of who we are as a Christian school, Catholic school. But in this day and age, it's more and more important that we are deliberate in making sure everyone feels welcome and valued in our community, regardless. regardless. Another exciting thing I wish to share is that there are 10 or 11 Augustinian schools in the United States and Canada that are run by our order or sponsored by our order. There has been increasing over the last 15, 20 years, increasing cooperation among these various schools. And that's a strength for us. To see not only what they're doing in different parts of the country, what innovations they are exploring, but also to share our strengths with them and to try and help address each other's weaknesses in our programming and activities and all that stuff. But we're at a point now where that organization, the ASCA, the Augustinian Secondary Education Apostolate or Association, is becoming more and more formalized, and we are establishing a full-time office to work for the 11 schools as a resource to ensure that the Augustinian approach to education that we have all shared and has enriched our lives, that Augustinian element is not simply maintained, but enhanced in our schools. So we will, hopefully, next year have full-time personnel who will be this kind of resource for all of our schools around the country and in Canada. So it opens up some real possibilities for a much larger networking among our shared schools that have our same values. It's interesting, I can walk, and our people say this all the time. We just got back from this last week. Our new teachers who go to this thing, they walk into another Augustinian school, this time up in Chicago, and they say they feel at home. It feels the same. There's a kind of a bond that's already present because we're doing the same kind of value-based work, mission together. And because the world's a smaller place now than it was, it only makes sense to continue this kind of cooperation among our various schools. I want to end with just a story. One of the best things about the job I have is that I get to hear lots of stories from alumni, past parents, people associated with our community over many, many years. And I want to share just one that I heard recently. This was, I don't know, a month and a half ago. Bumped into a former student who did not graduate from Cascia, but attended Cascia, came to us, transferred into our program from another school. Family life at that time, a mess. A mess. The student came to us with serious deficits in their academic history from the previous school. And, you know, we're tough on that stuff. It's a hard sophomore year, junior year here at Cascia is tough. And they came in and had a rough time adjusting. And eventually they were not able to be academically successful in our school, and they had to leave us. That's why they didn't graduate. But I bumped into him, I don't know, a month ago, 2 months ago, something like that. And he said that the year and a half that he spent at Cascia Hall was the most valuable and the most appreciated year and a half of his entire growing up. And he said because of the structure that we provided, the accountability that we provided, the high expectations that we required, and most importantly, in my mind, my heart, he felt loved here. When his family was a mess, he had, deficits in his learning, struggling, trying to find his way at a critical moment in a person's life, a teenager, and so many things can go wrong at that age. And even though he didn't graduate, he was immensely grateful for his time with us. We're doing something right here. And not only is it something right, it's absolutely necessary for our kids. And it's things like that that kind of like, okay. It makes it worth it. And as we all know, one of the wonderful things at Cascia Hall, we're a good community. We've always been a strong community. So it's working with each other to make that happen for all of our students. So that's what I have. If you have any questions, we'll be around afterwards. Just let me know. But again, thank you for coming. Good to see you. And I'm going to hand it off, I guess, to Mr. Gamble.
I've been asked to kind of walk through some different facets of the school itself and maybe point out some of the highlights that have been going on at the end of last academic year and for this portion of this academic year that we're currently in. So the first is there is a website that's called Niche. And what it does is it takes a look at feedback, testimonials from those that have attended a school. It takes a look at the school profile, what classes are offered, how many clubs are in place for the students, the faculty ratio with students. And currently, Cascia Hall is the #1 Catholic high school in Oklahoma and the overall #1 high school in the state as well for any public or private school. And that's something that we're proud of. And again, that comes back from testimonials that are from those that have attended our school, and it talks about various different facets of our school itself. If we take a look at some of our scholastic achievements, this year's graduating class of 2026, we are going to have 7 students that are going to be recognized through the National Merit Program. Last year's graduating class, we had 10. What does that mean? What that means is those students, if they go on to become finalists, they're going to get a paid-for 4-year college education with a semester abroad. And what that is stemming from is a yearly standardized test, the PSAT. So we're very happy and excited about having those sorts of numbers. We've got 34 Oklahoma academic scholars. Last year's AP exams, we gave 409 exams. 88% of those exams all scored a 3 or higher, which means they're going to get college credit for those particular exams. We have 82 AP scholars with honors and distinctions that make up our student body. And we have 2 current students on campus each day that scored a perfect score on the ACT, which is a 36, which is a pretty monumental score for them. Athletically and extracurricular, we hired a new performing arts director this year that has increased our numbers of students that are pursuing those sort of endeavors. We've already had our first upper school musical. We've got a middle school play that's going to be here at the end of next month. So that energy is really going well. We have an FTC and an FRC robotics organizations. Those are just different levels for different age groups. Those are both going to quite a few different competitions. There's some that are hosted here in town, some that are out of state, and those are all going very well for us. As far as athletics, and again, Dave Ryder is here. or again, any sort of questions or anything at the end. But he did provide me with some information today, just as far as the last year and a half. 2 team state championships in girls cross country and lacrosse. We've got 2 academic state championships with our boys cross country team. We've had 6 state runner-ups. We've got 16 all-state athletes. We've got 7 individual state champions. We've got 2 coaches that have earned Coach of the Year awards. We've had 17 college signings. Of those 17, 11 are with Division I programs, and those are in basketball, or commitments. Those are in basketball, baseball, cheer, cross country, football, golf, lacrosse, soccer, swimming, track, and wrestling. So they're doing very, very well. And over the past 4 seasons, Cascia has finished first or second place at a state competition, 9 out of the 16 sports that we offer. So it's a very well-rounded program that we have. As far as curriculum, and I'm sure you've seen, we're going to go through a bit of a schedule change next year. We've gone through a curriculum audit. Quite honestly, that audit began pre-COVID. Then COVID put everything on the back burner. And then we finally got it back up and running to where we're at a place where we feel like through our surveys, through our committees, we've come up with a great plan for our students. With our lunch being one of those periods, 45 minutes classes, you're still going to have a traditional schedule, which was very important for us to keep. It is not a block. It is not a mod schedule. It's not an AB block. It is a traditional schedule. The reason for this is we had a lot of curriculum and content that we just didn't have room in the day to provide our students. We are now going to incorporate those into each semester, and there'll be between 15 and 18 class periods that we're calling guide classes. And it's going to be over content such as study skills, personal financial literacy, career seminar, rhetorical writing, coding, intro to business, drop everything and read, health class, Microsoft Suite, introduction to communications, community service is going to be involved, and there are many more. There are about 18 total. And what's going to happen is we will have our core classes, with the exception of math and AP, in a given semester. Those core classes will only meet 4 days a week. The day in which they're not meeting is when those students are going to be enrolled in one of those guide classes. Again, allowing us to incorporate different parts of a curriculum and content into our school day that we have listened to our alumni and said, we really wish we could have had a little bit more in dealings with fill in the blank, coding, something like that. And that's what we are attempting to do for our students. It's also going to have a ribboning. So 2 days out of a week, first and second hour will move to 6th and 7th period. So 6th and 7th period will move to first and second. A lot of different reasons for that. One, we've got kids here that just are not morning people. And they tend to come in and say, can I have my math class in the afternoon? And that's hard. That's hard as a scheduling aspect for us to be able to do that and just place them where they might need for that regard. So we come up with the solution of this modified ribboning that's going to take place. Plus, we have kids that do and are involved, as I mentioned earlier, in a lot of extracurriculars. They're usually missing 6th and 7th hour if they need to travel. This will at least assist with not having to miss the same class each and every time when they're needing to leave our campus. We will also have what are called solo classes. These are going to be classes where a student might have time to go meet with a teacher, collaborate in that think tank that Father Philip made mention of earlier, with peers to work on projects, to study for exam, something of that nature. They potentially we're going to have a new fitness center. They can have their 45-minute time frame if they want. They can go into our fitness center, which is going to be nice for them as well. So just the traditional schedule, incorporating some guide classes so that we can get some content that is really needed for our students. The benefits of the new schedule: it's going to enhance curriculum flexibility. It's going to allow for individualized learning opportunities. It's going to have practical college preparation and intentional development of time management skills. And it's going to allow for some academic support for those students that need that. So if we take a look at the various components and those highlights, our kids, they work hard. They are a little bit too much grade influenced. They're all about that grade. We try to really get across to them. It needs to be about more of what you're learning and not really being concerned if it's a 98% or a 97%. It's about how to learn and what you're learning. That's very, very important for them. We're proud of our students, but I can say I'm equally as proud of every faculty member that's here. When we interview for teachers, I try to look at it, can they be defined by one word? And that one word is serve. If they're here to serve their students, which they are, it's a vocation, it's not a job. And I love our teachers and how they come across in that way, because they truly are here to serve our students. So thank you, and again, we'll be around afterwards for any sort of questions.
Thank you, Mr. Gamble. Hello, I know a lot of you in this room, but for those I don't, my name is Emily Walton, and I am the Director of School Advancement here at Cascia. January will mark my 3rd year here, and I'm not exaggerating when I say I've loved nearly every minute of it. It's just been wonderful. A big part of the reason that I love what I do every day is my department members, 2 of whom are here this evening. Hannah Sipes is our Director of Development. After the meeting, she'll be over here and can walk you through all these amazing renderings of our new project. And then Jane Easley, which I'm sure a lot of you know, is our Director of Alumni, and she's towards the back. She has a lovely red blazer on this evening. Those of you that have had big reunion years, you've probably worked with Jane, and she's just amazing. Those are just 2 of the people in my department. And then we have Andrea, who's in charge of admissions and marketing, and Sarah, who is our database manager and provides a lot of support with social media. So thank you all for taking some time out tonight. I know, especially when the weather turned kind of yucky, it's tempting to just go home and make some chili and turn the fire on, but we are here and I appreciate that very much. I want to give you guys an update on some fundraising that we've been doing. Hopefully that you saw via email and snail mail that we have rebranded the annual fund to the One Cascia Fund. And that was really after some thoughtfulness this summer in trying to inform our different constituencies, be they current parents, faculty, past parents, alumni, that a gift to the annual fund is a gift that supports truly every student on this campus. Yes, we will still take your restricted gifts. If you have something that you're super passionate about, we will obviously not turn away money. But but a gift to the One Cascia Annual Fund helps us bridge the gap between what we bring in tuition and our expenses and our operating budget. 1926 Day was held in September. It was the first time that we did that, and it was a day of giving for the Cascia community. And many of you in this room contributed to that, and we're very thankful. Excitingly, we had $102,000 raised in 24 hours, which is just amazing. And perhaps even more excitingly, that was 122 different donors. So there were big gifts, there were small gifts, and there was everything in between. And that really set a good pace for raising the rest of those annual fund dollars throughout the rest of the year. So thank you so much. And if you haven't, a lot of you in this room I know give year-end giving for tax purposes. So please remember Cascia as you do that. We also had 100% faculty participation in our One Cascia giving this year. It's the first time in several years that we've made that benchmark. And to me, that shows that our faculty is just passionate, like Mr. Gamble said, just as passionate about this place as our alumni and our students and their families. So thank you so much to them as well. CPFA, the Cascia Parent Faculty Association, is Cascia's PTA of sorts, and I oversee and kind of liaise between those groups, that group who's volunteer-based, and the school. So this fall, we already had our ladies doubles tennis tournament that raised $14,000, which was $5,000 over budget. We are gearing up for the Cascia Hall Christmas tree lot. Hopefully, I'm sure that you guys have driven by Utica before and seen all those lovely trees out on the lot. We will do that again this year. Those dates are November 29th and 30th and December 6th and 7th. You hopefully received in your inbox notification we weren't able to secure as many Christmas trees as we usually do. So if you're one of those people who always likes to buy their tree from the tree lot, please go online. It's casciahall.com/tree lot to pre-order your tree so that we can guarantee you have a tree this year. And also, many of you in this room I've already seen have purchased your annual Christopher Radko Christmas ornament. It's always popular. I think we've figured out that we've been doing it for at least 15, if not 20 years. Marion Heatherman helps me keep all those straight and which ornament was what year. And so if you want to order those, again, you can buy them at the school, but it always helps if you pre-order so that we can have it boxed up for you with your name on it. It's easy peasy. Again, that's casciahall.com/tree lot. And then our biggest fundraiser of the year for CPFA is Celebrate Cascia, which is our annual our annual gala and auction that we have. We're changing things up this year. For the last several years, it's been at Kane's Ballroom. This year, it's going to be at the Mayo Hotel. It is April 10th. Nina Hastings and Abby Black are heading that effort, and it's really exciting. And they have chosen Party Like It's 99 in honor of Cascia Hall's 99th year as the theme. So feel free to break out your favorite outfit that represents the 90s and attend that day. We often have a great turnout of current families that celebrate Cascia, but I would like to see us increase our alumni participation. I know that a lot of you, perhaps when your children went here, attended as parents, but we would love to see alumni out at that event as well. Just like this is a great gathering, anytime that we can get the Cascia community together, I love to see the different interactions and you meet people, and maybe you go to every home football game and so you feel like you see everybody, but I guarantee you're going to see somebody that you didn't realize was a Cascia connection at an event like that. So we would love to have you out on April 10th for that event. Another way that we raise funds is through Go for Catholic Schools. And I don't understand all the workings of it because that's why we have Jennifer Allen at the back. She is wonderful. She is our liaison for Go for Catholic Schools. But in a nutshell, it is a state income tax credit for you, and that can be personal taxes or business taxes. And that turns into need-based financial aid for our students. And you'll see she has a big old check back there. Just this year, through the Go for Catholic Schools program, we were gifted $430,000, which goes, again, to need-based aid. We give away $1.3 million of financial aid. Again, need-based financial aid, I know there's sometimes that people talk about scholarships and whether it's for academics or athletics. That is not the case. This is need-based, as is all of our giving that we do, is financial aid. It is not a scholarship. And I think if you guys can help us get that message out in the community, that's really helpful too. So if you'd like more information, Jennifer's your girl. She's in the back. And again, it's savings for you, and it helps Cascia out tremendously. And with that, the next biggest thing that we have going on right now, as Father spoke to, is our capital campaign. John Hastings is our chair of the capital campaign. I'm sure he will talk to you all about all sorts of ways that we can give and the difference that it's making. When we're done tonight, feel free to venture down this ramp over here because you will see a muddy and yet progress-making site for the two-story STEM building that Father Philip talked about. But as John comes up, I'm going to start this video. It's about 2.5 minutes. And for those of you that aren't aware, it'll kind of just give you a synopsis of all the things that we're doing.
Cascia Hall is embarking upon the largest and most transformative project in the school's nearly 100-year history. The Talent Thrives with Opportunity Capital Campaign is a $31 million initiative targeting STEM education, athletics, and student life. The 2-story STEM-focused building will include new learning spaces, laboratories with prep rooms, a biosafety Level 2 science research lab, a robotic shop and playing field, and collaborative learning spaces. The addition of an alumni center will provide a dedicated space for our graduates to connect. It will also be home to the new campus ministry suite, giving this vital part of the Cascia experience a prominent central spot in the heart of campus. A number of athletics facilities will be expanded and/or renovated. These include an overhaul of the basement locker rooms and expansion of the wellness facilities to add a film room, training room, athletic director and coaches' offices, and doubling the size of the existing weight room to accommodate all Cascia students. Student life will be impacted by converting the existing gym lobby into a student commons complete with cafe and nutrition bar. This area will adjoin the renovated dining hall and new kitchen and servery spaces, providing ample room for students to gather during meals and activities. These projects will truly impact every single student. We can't make these visions a reality without the support of our entire community. Thank you to the current families, past families, alumni, and friends who have already supported this effort. If you have yet to make a contribution, now is the time. Learn more about the campaign and make your gift or pledge today by visiting www.cassiahall.com/campaign. Gifts of any size will help ensure the future generations of students have access to the top-notch education Cascia has been known for since 1926.
Thank you all for coming. I'm John Hastings, for those that I don't know. My wife and I embarked on the Cascia Capital Campaign a few years ago. Just to give a sense of history, the campaign really started back in 19 when we began doing surveys and we had consultants. And looking back, the last capital campaign at Cascia was 2008, and it was the Performing Arts Center, which was a $9 million capital campaign. And through parent surveys, talking to former students, talking to consultants, as father, we've done this spiel so many times, he steals more and more of my speech every time we do it. But the way kids are learning is changing. And so we knew that this capital campaign had to be all-encompassing. And, the last one, again, was the PAC Just for Arts. And this capital campaign, being $31 million, is athletics, which I'll say first, which to mainly annoy Father Philip. It is academics with a new STEM center, again, as learning is changing. And then it is community life with a cafeteria that's been here since the 70s, locker rooms that are probably the same as when you went here. And so it will truly impact every single student on campus, and it'll impact the next 100 years as we're embarking on our 100-year anniversary next year. In terms of where we are in fundraising, as everyone in this room knows, inflation has not helped us. We started off around $26 million. Inflation has increased it to $31 million total project cost. Again, think about that relative to our last capital campaign of $9 million. So we are being extremely ambitious. We are right around $20 million right now. Thanks to the generosity and support of Manhattan Construction, we are able to begin, as you can see, begin construction. And so we have around $11 million to go. And the big message to this group, you're here, you care about Cascia, you've had a good experience with Cascia, hopefully, it's to spread the word about this capital campaign. And so for those who have given, we appreciate it. We really do. But we ask each of you to spread the word to classmates, to friends. This is, again, when you think back to your time at Cascia, someone came before you to make Cascia what it is. And we're at that critical juncture now to where we're building Cascia for the next 100 years. And so we're here now to try to make Cascia better for the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years of students. And so that's really the message here from a capital campaign chair, is to spread the word and give us a name, or, if you think of someone, a classmate that would be willing to be interested and hasn't heard about it. I don't know how it's possible that they haven't heard about it by now. But please, become involved and talk to the development office. We'll reach out to anyone, but we're close, and it's very exciting. You can see from the renderings, it's transformative for the school and what we're offering. And so, again, thank you all for coming. You truly care about Cascia for being here. But I asked for the video to be played first, so I didn't have to talk as much. But no, it's a wonderful project. It's, again, massive. I told Philip about a month ago I was up at Villanova meeting with the president of Villanova, and he told me we're embarking on another $1 billion capital campaign. So it's constant progress, and that's something that St. Augustine says. And we're trying to make Cascia, again, better for the next generation. And someone, again, came before us to make Cascia what it was when we were here. So thank you all for coming. I think I'm giving it back to Morgan. And again, we're around afterwards if we can answer any questions.
Thanks, John. So thanks, everybody, again, for coming tonight. Just a few parting words. Like I said, we've got some events coming up here in the next couple semesters. We'd love for you all to come out and remain involved. But we're not just an event planning organization. As alumni, we're also mentors and supporters of Cascia. Obviously, our generosity reflects the giving that we have here at Cascia. Parker Cinco's here, and he's actually planning these really cool chapel experiences for the students, for former alumni to come back and talk about their experiences at Cascia and talk about what it meant to them and what, how they were able to be impacted by the values here at Cascia. So if that's something that maybe you're interested in, or maybe wanting to get involved in some ways, grab Parker here. He's back there in the vest, and talk to him a little bit. And in addition, we're also going to start something that we're calling Class Champions. So across the years at Cascia, we want to have somebody in each grade who's an alumni that we can contact or get in touch with if we need updated contact information, or maybe something has changed and you're trying to get a hold of the school and you want somebody in the alumni that you can reach out to. We're going to keep a database of the grades, and if that's somebody, if you'd like to be that person for your class, maybe just come after and talk to me. Let me know. If there's somebody in your class that would be a good candidate for that, let me know as well. I'll take down the information and reach out to them. We just want to be better organized with our data and reaching out to alumni and communicating. So again, thanks for coming, everybody, tonight. And with that, I'll let you get on with your evening. Appreciate it. Thanks.